So, you know when you see a headline when you're scrolling through social media and you think to yourself, wait, really? Well, that is what's happened today. I was scrolling through Facebook earlier and I saw that Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are trying to play in Miami for a La Liga game, a Spanish domestic game being played in Miami in the United States. Yes, that is seriously what is being considered here. Now, it's fair to say that Spain has previous when it comes to these kinds of matters. I mean, if you've paid any attention to the Spanish Super Cup, you'll notice that it's not been played in Spain for some time now. It's been played in Saudi Arabia for the last 3-4 years, something like that. And this isn't unique either. The Italian Super Cup, likewise, is also played in, I think it's Qatar or something like that. He's played somewhere in the Middle East anyway. But an outright domestic game being played on foreign soil, so far away, an entire ocean away. I don't think this has ever happened in football before, but it's been seriously considered. Barcelona and Atletico Madrid is set to take place on the 22nd of December, so exactly 2 months today, and it's going to be the final game before the La Liga winter break, which is only a couple weeks anyway. It's not a very long break, but it just goes over Christmas and the New Year. And yeah, I mean, the phrase "game's gone" comes to mind with stuff like this, really. I cannot believe this is being considered, but it seriously is. Let me just go through what's been said here first, though, before I just give a more in-depth take on it. Shout out to Simon Stone from the BBC for covering this. I'm just going to read out this article here. So, Barcelona's league fixture against Atletico Madrid in December could be staged in Miami, with La Liga officials hopeful that FIFA will approve the plan. It would be the first time a La Liga match has been played in the United States. FIFA, football's world governing body, will make the final decision on the proposal. The match is currently scheduled for the 22nd of December before La Liga pauses for its winter break. Both Atletico Madrid and Barcelona are scheduled to play in a 4-team Spanish Super Cup in early January, which is being held in Saudi Arabia. In April, FIFA withdrew from a legal challenge by a leading match promoter, Relevant, which is seeking to stage overseas league matches in the United States. But the following month, FIFA announced it was setting up a working group to look at the potential of impact of competitive domestic matches being played abroad. La Liga president Javier Tebas has spoken of the desire to take La Liga games to other countries. Barcelona planned to stage a league match against Girona in Miami in January 2019, but the idea was scrapped in the face of oppositions from Spain's Football Association and its players' union. League sources say there is still work to do in the plan, but they are hopeful of receiving approval to proceed. The Premier League has previously said it has no plans to play games overseas, and that last sentence actually is quite key in this, in my opinion, because, and this is not me blaming the Premier League, this is not me having a go at the Premier League here, but I believe without a doubt, the motivation of this is money. Like 100%, this is financially motivated, and right now the top clubs in Europe, such as Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, clubs like that, are quite afraid of the Premier League and how much money it is gaining and how much money it's going to continue to gain. Don't get me wrong, these clubs are incredibly rich, but you know, with the way the Premier League's going, you know, leagues like La Liga, leagues like the Bundesliga, although Bundesliga's different because they're more fan controlled, they'd never stand for something like this. This would never, ever fly in Germany at all. You know, what did they try and do the other month? They tried to change how the advertising revenue was being sought, or the overseas right to TV deals or something like that was being done, and they protested. And because they have power over the clubs, they won. It never went anywhere. So I'm quite worried about this, to say the least, because it is very much opening a can of worms. It is going down the slippery slope, as it were. I mean, you look at... I mean, again, this is nothing new, in a sense, because this has been talked about for a long time. You remember earlier this season, or before this season started, Birmingham City against Wrexham. They tried to play that in the United States, but that got blocked by the EFL, I believe. And that's a third-tier English game. That's not even like a superstar game like Atletico Madrid and Barcelona, you know, it's not on that kind of level. I mean, I get it, you know, there is a desire in the United States to have more football, to have more soccer as they call it. You know, it's massive over there. It is one of the most popular sports now. It is not on the level of American football, basketball, baseball, of course it's not, but the amount of people there are probably as many football/soccer fans in the United States as there are in countries like the UK, just because there are so many more people. It's a much bigger market, it's much more lucrative. And leagues like La Liga are trying to catch up and compete with the Premier League, and this is their way of potentially trying to surpass it. You know, the Premier League doesn't need to do that. It's already on its perch. It's going to take something else to knock it off of that. Whether it's going to be something like this or something else, yet to be seen. But is this going to happen? Well, we've got 2 months. We're playing the Spanish Super Cup in Saudi Arabia a few weeks later. You have players complaining about playing too many matches, and here is another long trip when it should be, what, a couple 100 miles from Barcelona to Madrid. Instead it's a couple 1,000 miles going across time zones, taking flights. It's not literally just like these players will just hop on an 8-hour flight from Madrid to Miami. It's also getting settled in the accommodation, doing the training over there, adjusting to the new time zone, the climate as well. You know, Miami in December has a very different climate to Spain. Spain does get cold, guys. I know this is incredible information, but it does get cold. Miami in Florida never really gets cold. It snowed once there in its entire history, you know, so I am really worried about this. The game has not gone. Football is still beautiful. It is still a beautiful game, but it's being run by some very greedy individuals, and I feel like this is very much the tip of the iceberg. We're going to see more of this. It's not just going to be La Liga, but we're going to see it with Italy as well, the Serie A. Germany's different. They've got their Bundesliga. France, they might do something like this. The Premier League has no desire to do this. But if it gets to a position where it's losing out compared to La Liga, they'll do it. They'll do it. You'd watch. And I know, and there is a counter argument here, and I will state this as well. You know, there's been a lot of talk about an American football team in the NFL being based in London, in England, and because there is, you know, they regularly used to hold matches at Wembley. Now it's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and you know that's a different sport. And I don't feel qualified to fully comment on that because I'm not an American football fan. I've got to, you know, I'll pay attention to what's going on, really. You know, I follow all sports really in some sort of loose capacity. I wouldn't say I'm a fan particularly of the NFL. I get its appeal, of course. This isn't a criticism of it at all, but you know, at the end of the day, that's a different sport. With football, it is. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to this sort of stuff. I don't feel like it's right that we should be playing a Spanish domestic league game in the United States. They have every opportunity to gain revenue in the off-season by going to the United States for tours. If that's what they want to do, do it. That is nothing new at all. That has been going on for a long time. If that's what they want to do in the off-season, do it. But don't go robbing the fans who... Like, what's going to happen to the people who've got season tickets? What's going to happen to the people who've already got tickets for this game? Are they going to get refunded? You'd like to think so, but again, it raises a lot of questions, and there's 2 months to sort it out, and it's a game of football that lasts 90 minutes, but there's much more to it than that. There's a lot more to it, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. FIFA will decide on this. For what it's worth, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they'll do it, and I'll tell you why. Because right now, FIFA is at war with UEFA, right? FIFA is jealous of UEFA having the Euros, about having the Champions League, the Europa League, the Conference League, all these competitions. They have the biggest clubs and arguably the biggest regular matches. The exception to that is, of course, the World Cup. But FIFA is now trying to do the Club World Cup, which is its little passion project that it's trying to get off the ground, and will get off the ground where? In the United States. In the summer. I feel like this will not go through because of that. I feel like FIFA's going to be like, well, if you're getting more revenue from this, no, we don't want that. We want the FIFA Club World Cup to be special. We want it to be this massive event. So that's why I personally don't think it'll go through, but this is football. Crazy stuff has happened. You know, they're playing domestic cup competitions in the Middle East for Italian and Spanish sides, all in the aim of making more money. So why not the United States, some would say. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Is this going to go through? Should it go through? Would you watch this game? If you're in Miami, let us know. Would you be hyped to go and watch this game? Because at that time, I believe it's the off-season in MLS, so it's a bit more soccer action for you guys in the off-season. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and of course keep subscribed to thefootballchronicle.com for more weird and wacky news from the world of football, good and bad. See you soon, guys. Have a good one.